What's up, One Crack News? Things just got real for Donald Trump in the most interesting way I've never thought imaginable. It was crazy. I couldn't believe. I thought it was AI or something. I'm like, this cannot be real. This is really a real situation. So I was like, man, I gotta go live and definitely bring this to the people. So without further ado, hit the like button. We bring in the rep from California, I believe, Lou, an Asian man, and he just steps right to the podium and kicks it off.
So why are Republicans so interested in Bill and Hillary Clinton? It's because they're trying to distract from the fact that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files thousands and thousands of times. In those files, there's highly disturbing allegations of Donald Trump raping children, of Donald Trump threatening to kill children. So I encourage the press to go look at these allegations. And I'm highly disturbed that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche just got the law wrong. Yesterday, he said essentially that it is not a crime to party with Jeffrey Epstein. Well, that's actually not correct. If Jeffrey Epstein was human trafficking minors for these sex parties, and you show up and patronize the establishment at that party, yes, you're guilty, because patronizing is part of the law, the federal sex trafficking law. So Deputy General Todd Blanche just got that wrong, which maybe explains why they aren't investigating all these folks, including Donald Trump. He needs to read the law and investigate these people. He also needs to resign, not only for not knowing the law, but a massive, not only screw up, but the biggest privacy violation in history. They release a lot of pictures of minors unredacted, just violated the privacy of these girls. It is uncalled for what they did. The one thing that they could not do under this law was to invade the privacy of these women now, who were girls at the time, who were victims of sex trafficking. Also, he met with Ghislaine Maxwell, moved her to a minimum security prison, and then got a puppy for her. So for all those reasons, he's just got to leave the Department of Justice.
Oh, I never heard this on the radio. Well, you ain't part of.
So why?
He went and got Giselle Maxwell a dog, moved her to a minimum security facility, and got her a dog.
Why are Republicans so interested in Bill and Hillary Clinton? It's because they're trying to distract from the fact that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files thousands and thousands of times. In those files, there's highly disturbing allegations of Donald Trump raping children, of Donald Trump threatening to kill children. So I encourage the press to go look at these allegations.
My God, this is the craziest thing I have ever heard. This is the craziest thing I've ever heard. This should be on every news website alive. What?
Apparently, he couldn't even get Kid Rock to perform there. And now we have this hallowed, amazing institution of the United States closed because Donald Trump royally screwed up when he vandalized it by putting his name on it. I agree with Chairman Aguilar with everything he said about Trump's ICE and Border Patrol. Trump's ICE and Border Patrol interior operations are out of control. And not only did they kill 2 civilians last month, but you see continuing videos and stories of their abuses. We learned recently that ICE shackled a woman for 24 hours in a bathroom with 3 other men. The faucet didn't work, and when the men would go to a toilet, the woman would hide her face. We know that ICE also detained a 5-year-old citizen, Liam, who then got sick because of the horrible conditions at the detention facility. And a federal judge ordered the release because ICE is just flat out violating the law. It turns out some of the folks that ICE is taking came in here legally through legal processes last year. And if the Trump administration doesn't like that, they've got to change the law. They can't just take people who came in here legally and then try to deport them. And that's why you have judges doing what they just did in this case and release 5-year-old Liam. I also want to echo what Chairman Aguilar said about Kristi Noem. Under her leadership, the Department of Homeland Security has killed a number of Americans. She needs to resign or she needs to be fired. And if not, impeachment proceedings need to proceed. And with that, I yield back.
Questions? Max?
As you mentioned, a lot of Democrats have issues with the way DHS and Kristi Noem are handling situations in the U.S. As a result, how will you vote on the funding package plan today, which does provide temporary funding for DHS?
I think we'll have members on. Some members will vote yes, and some members will vote no. This has been a topic of discussion that we've had that you guys have reported on over the weekend. We had emergency caucus meetings where we were hearing from members. We understand the perspectives that our members bring to the table. Some of the appropriators feel like they need to support this deal. Other members feel deeply concerned that even 2 weeks of ICE continued funding is, in a sense, blessing what they have done and what they will continue to do, terrorizing our communities. But our caucus is united. And look, I know you folks are going to talk about this vote. We're opposing the rule because Speaker Johnson apparently told his crew that they could pass this on suspension over the weekend, as was reported. That's false. There was no, discussion that would lead any rational person to believe that, 100 Democrats could vote for this. If they have a problem passing these bills, they need to talk to Hakeem Jeffries. But the first step was in admitting that this can't pass on suspension. And so now they have to pass a rule. If they pass a rule, which we'll see in the next few hours, then we'll have a quick debate and we'll see where members land on this. This has been the unifying force of members, though, has been these themes, right? Has been Kristi Noem is the head of this agency that is seemingly lawless and doesn't care about the First, Second, Fourth, or 10th Amendment. And she's got to go. We want to protect our communities. We've said that from the very first press conference that the vice chair and I did last year after the president, pardoned violent criminals. And that continues to be a focal point, is what is best to protect our communities while respecting the rule of law. And what we know is that Kristi Noem doesn't believe in this. They're willing to let Stephen Miller make policy over there. And I think what members were also showed is 59% of Fox, this is a Fox poll, 59% said ICE was too aggressive. So Speaker Johnson is on the wrong side of this. He's already dismissing some of the reasonable reforms that we're offering. The proof continues to be the American people speaking in a poll, at Fox, or speaking at the ballot in Texas. The American people are fed up of this. They are fed up of lawless ICE. They are fed up of runaway budgets with no accountability, and they are fed up of the rhetoric that Republicans are trying to offer to justify this lawlessness. And it's going to be on us. It's going to be on House Democrats to push back. And we will push back now. We will push back in February, and we will push back all the way through November until we get an opportunity to change the temperature in this place.
A few weeks ago, I went to Minneapolis, St. Paul, and met with nonprofit groups and local law enforcement. We did a Democratic field hearing, and their stories of abuse are horrific. You have Trump's ICE completely being out of control. We also know that the public pressure is working. The Trump administration is starting to backtrack. They removed Border Patrol Commander at Large Greg Bovino from Minnesota. We also know that he has now engaged in anti-Semitic comments. He needs to resign. We also know that Kristi Noem yesterday issued a directive saying all field agents in Minneapolis must wear body cameras. That is a start, but every one of their agents across America needs to wear body cameras like real police officers do. And I encourage American people to continue this public pressure and to exercise their First Amendment rights.
Michael?
Just to drill down before I ask my question, you're going to wait to see if the Republicans can pass a rule before you decide how you're going to vote, or you know?
Or I'm going to wait until we pass a rule before I tell people what I'm going to vote. But either way, it serves the same purpose. But look, we've over the last couple of days, the vice chair and I have tried to create an environment with the leadership team where we hear directly from members who are struggling, who are frustrated by what they see. And the week back home, where we talked to folks in our communities about the local lawlessness of ICE, really put a finer point on that. We weren't, in DC comparing notes. We were back home talking to our communities, and we're the ones that have to look folks in the eye who have experienced some of these tragedies and horrific behavior. The vice chair in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and many other folks visiting ICE detention facilities or trying to visit ICE detention facilities or talking to community leaders and advocates. But time and time again, what we hear from our colleagues is we have to make changes. We have to reform DHS. They were given unlimited amounts of money by House Republicans, and we need to have meaningful reforms because they are unchecked. They have been proven time and time again unworthy of our trust and unworthy of the benefit of the doubt. All of us are here on the Democratic side. I know the vice chair and I feel this way. We want government to work. We know it can be an instrument of good. We know it can help people in their daily lives. And what these folks are doing sets all of us back because they are now going to be afraid. And I talked to our local law enforcement leaders about this in San Bernardino County last week. Local law enforcement is concerned that people aren't going to report crime or they aren't going to say that they are a witness of a crime, because they're afraid that everybody is working with ICE. And that hurts us. If people don't feel like they can answer a police officer's question on what they saw for fear of their status, that sets us all back. And by the way, every one of these law enforcement agencies, I met with locally, they have an identifier on them. They have their name on a polo. They have their name on their uniform. It says which agency employs them. And have a clear identifier as to who they are and where they work. Shame on us if we can't create an environment that mirrors exactly what our local governments have been doing and have been doing well and have been doing with the trust and support of our community members.
Mr. Trmp, really quickly, you all got a 3-year extension through a discharge petition during the last shutdown, after the last shutdown, and it's languishing in the Senate right now. It's not.
Now, that was crazy. I had never seen anything like that ever. I'm watching this Knicks game, and the overtime is nuts.
The recent producer.
But I'm just so confused.
So why are Republicans so interested in Bill and Hillary Clinton? It's because they're trying to distract from the fact that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files thousands and thousands of times. In those files, there's highly disturbing allegations of Donald Trump raping children, of Donald Trump threatening to kill children. So I encourage your press to go look at these allegations. And I'm highly disturbed that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche just got the law wrong. Yesterday, he said essentially that it is not a crime to party with Jeffrey Epstein. Well, that's actually not correct. If Jeffrey Epstein was human trafficking minors for these sex parties, and you show up and patronize the establishment at that party, yes, you're guilty because patronizing is part of the law, the federal sex trafficking law. So Deputy General Pavlovich just got that wrong, which maybe explains why they aren't investigating all these folks, including Donald Trump. He needs to read the law and investigate these people. He also needs to resign, not only for not knowing the law, but a massive, not only screw up, but the biggest privacy violation in history. They release a lot of pictures of minors unredacted, just violated the privacy of these girls. It is uncalled for what they did. The one thing that they could not do under this law was to invade the privacy of these women now who were girls at the time who were victims of sex trafficking. Also, he met with Ghislaine Maxwell, moved her to a minimum security prison, and then got a puppy for her. So for all those reasons, he's just got to leave the Department of Justice.
Wow. And on that note, we out of here.